Notion and Monday, two prominent names for long. Notion has grown over time into one place where projects, notes, tasks, and personal work live together. Monday also helps many teams, but it mainly focuses on planning, tracking, and managing projects day to day. When you work on a real project, you need to look at your business needs, then match them with the right tool. To decide which one fits, you have to understand how each tool works in practice. So in this video, we're going through Notion and Monday to see which one meets your business needs. Starting things off with how these two handle your day-to-day tasks, it's really a story of two different philosophies. If you're someone who likes a clean slate, Notion is likely going to feel like home. It treats every task like a page, which means you can dump all your notes, meeting recordings, and checklists right inside the task itself. This year, they've really refined their database properties, so you can see your personal to-do list in a way that makes sense to you, whether that's a simple list or a more visual board. It's super flexible, but I'll be honest, if you don't set it up right, things can get messy pretty fast. Now, on the other side of the fence, Monday.com is much more structured right out of the gate. When you add a task there, it's part of a highly visual board where everything is color-coded and easy to digest at a glance. They've really leaned into pulse updates, so you can see exactly who's working on what without digging through layers of pages. In 2026, Monday's task management feels a bit more active. It'll nudge you when a deadline is coming up or automatically change a status when you finish a subtask. It's less about writing long-form notes and more about getting the job done and moving to the next thing. Moving along to the big picture stuff, managing an entire project is where you start to see the real divide between these platforms. Monday.com is honestly a powerhouse for those complex, multi-layered projects. They've perfected their Gantt charts and timeline views, making it incredibly easy to see how one person's delay might push back the whole team's schedule. They also have these great high-level dashboards that pull data from 5 or 6 different boards at once. If you're a project manager who needs to report to a boss about burn-up charts or resource allocation, Monday gives you those professional tools without you having to build them from scratch. Notion, however, takes a much more knowledge-first approach to projects. Instead of just seeing a timeline, you're building a project hub. You've got your project goals, your research documents, and your task lists all living in one interconnected ecosystem. In 2026, Notion's relations and roll-ups are smoother than ever, allowing you to link a project to a client database or a budget tracker effortlessly. It's great for creative projects where the why and the how are just as important as the when. But if you need heavy-duty reporting or workload management to see if your engineers are overbooked, Notion still feels a little lightweight compared to Monday's robust engine. Since we can't talk about software in 2026 without mentioning AI, it's interesting to see how both companies have integrated it. Notion AI has basically become your personal editor and researcher. It's incredibly good at looking at a massive database of meeting notes and pulling out the 3 most important action items, or even drafting a project proposal based on a few messy bullet points you jotted down. It lives right there in the document with you, which makes the writing process feel much more fluid. It's like having a very smart assistant who's read every single page in your workspace and can summarize it for you in seconds. Monday.com has taken a slightly different path with their AI, focusing more on predictive work. Their AI agents are now capable of looking at your past project history and telling you, hey, based on how long the last marketing campaign took, you're probably going to miss this deadline. It's also huge for automation. You can literally tell the AI in plain English to build a workflow that notifies the design team every time a new creative brief is uploaded, and it just does it. While Notion helps you think and write, Monday's AI helps you move and stay on schedule. It's more about operational intelligence than content creation. Beyond the internal tools, we have to look at how these platforms talk to the rest of your tech stack. Monday.com has always been the king of integrations, and in 2026, they've stayed on top. They have native connections with over 200 apps, from Salesforce to Jira. The collaboration happens right on the boards with work docs and live comments that feel very snappy. It's designed for teams that are constantly jumping between different tools and need one central place to see the data sink in real time. If your team lives in Slack or Microsoft Teams, Monday's notifications and syncs are almost seamless. Notion has definitely closed the gap recently, especially with their API becoming more stable and their synced blocks feature. It's brilliant for collaboration because you can have one piece of information, like a project status, live on 5 different pages, and when you update it in one spot, it updates everywhere. It's the ultimate tool for asynchronous work. You don't need to be in a meeting when the document itself acts as a living, breathing update. However, Notion still relies a bit more on third-party tools like Zapier if you want to do anything really fancy with external data, whereas Monday tends to keep those features in-house. When you're staring at a blank screen, a good template is a lifesaver, and both of these platforms have massive libraries to help you out. Notion's template gallery is legendary because it's largely driven by a huge community of creators. You can find a template for literally anything, from a high-tech CRM to a simple habit tracker or a complex product roadmap. In 2026, these templates are more than just layouts. They come with pre-built logic and AI prompts already set up. It's perfect if you want a custom feel without actually having to learn how to build a database from the ground up. Monday.com takes a much more professional services approach with their templates. When you pick a template in Monday, it's not just a board, it's a whole system. It comes with the automations, the dashboards, and the views already configured for specific industries like construction, software dev, or marketing. They're less aesthetic than Notion's templates, but they're incredibly functional. You can fire up a project management office template and be ready to track $1 million budget in about 5 minutes. It's less about the aesthetic and much more about the industrial strength utility. So far, the better software really depends on what your team's day looks like. If you need a flexible, all-in-one workspace where your notes and your tasks live together, Notion is your winner. But if you're managing tight deadlines and need heavy-duty reporting and automation, Monday is the way to go. So, which one are you leaning towards for your team this year? Drop a comment below and share with us. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to get more videos like this.